8 early warning signs of colon cancer you must not ignore. A cancer diagnosis is surely terrifying. It is one of the major causes of death in the world. Cancer claimed the lives of about 10 million people in 2020 alone. Colon cancer is one of the most frequent types of cancer, impacting thousands of people each year. Every year, over 100,000 new instances of colon cancer are reported in the United States. A healthy lifestyle and early detection are your strongest defenses against colon cancer. You should be aware of the early signs and symptoms of colon cancer. In fact, we'll be talking about it in today's video. Let's begin by discussing why you should be concerned about colon cancer. According to experts, colorectal cancer is one of the top 3 cancers in the United States. It is also one of the top 3 cancers that kill both men and women in the United States. You'd be mistaken if you thought it was a sort of cancer that only struck later in life. According to one study, an increasing number of people diagnosed with colon cancer are in their 20s and 30s. As a result, being aware of the signs and symptoms of colon cancer is never too early. There are a few indicators that you may be at risk of developing this cancer. We'll go over them one by one, but keep in mind that if you have any of these symptoms, you should not disregard them. Let's begin. Number 1. Rectal bleeding. If you observe bleeding in your stool, you should see your doctor right away. The blood would be either red or dark maroon in color. Bright crimson blood indicates that it is fresh and that something is wrong with your lower digestive tract. Dark maroon blood, on the other hand, is digested blood that signals difficulties with the upper digestive tract. Hemorrhoids, an accident, or a cut in the area could all be to blame for the bleeding. However, the bleeding brought on by colon cancer would be much worse than that from hemorrhoids. It is uncommon for people to examine their stool. However, if you want to detect colon cancer early, you should make this routine. Finding blood in your stool can be an early warning sign of cancer. For a long time, people ignored rectal bleeding. This is primarily due to the fact that the problem can be intermittent. It can happen one day and then disappear for a few weeks before reappearing. When the bleeding stops during the intermittent phase, you may think you're fine. However, this is not always the case. It's in your best interests to see a doctor right away and obtain the proper diagnosis and treatment. We just discussed glancing at your stool when you're finished. I know it's disgusting. However, it is critical for your health. Number 2. Narrow stool. Examine your stools on a regular basis to check whether they are narrower than usual. If this is the case, you should see your doctor. You can only tell if your stool has become thinner if you keep track of it on a regular basis. Changes in bowel movements are another sign. Constipation may be another sign of colon cancer if you have it on a frequent basis. While you should not self-diagnose, it is always a good idea to consult your doctor about the risk of colon cancer. You can inform your doctor about any changes in your bowel movements, and they will determine the tests needed for a correct diagnosis. Remember that it's not about being afraid. You're vigilant and in command of your health. It is always preferable to detect cancer early rather than later. Aside from keeping track of your bowel movements, you should also get your blood work done on a regular basis. Check your hemoglobin levels, in particular, to see if you're anemic. Number 3. Constipation. There are numerous potential causes of constipation. One of the most common causes is a lack of fiber in your diet. However, it normally does not persist for long and can be remedied by increasing the fiber content of the foods you eat. However, if the constipation lasts for an extended period of time with no sign of relief, it could be due to a colon tumor. If you have constipation for an extended period of time, it may worsen the severity of your colon cancer. If you have had constipation for an extended period of time, you should seek medical attention. It is crucial to determine whether a tumor or other underlying conditions are the cause of the constipation. Number 4. Ineffective bowel movements. Have you ever experienced the feeling that you need to cleanse your bowels, but nothing happens when you try? Tenesmus is the medical term for this condition. Tenesmus is commonly experienced when you have a tumor in your colon or rectum. If you are experiencing infrequent bowel movements, you should consult a doctor. Colon cancer might be the cause. Number 5. Anemia. Colon cancer tumors frequently cause blood loss in the stools, but until you look for the blood, you'll never know it's happening. However, there is another way to determine if you are losing blood. You lose a lot of blood when you bleed from colon tumors. This can result in a lack of iron in the body. A normal blood test, however, can detect anemia. A decrease in red blood cells is the root cause of anemia. There are many potential causes for this, including bleeding from colon cancer cells. If you don't have enough healthy red blood cells, you should get evaluated to see if you're losing blood as a result of a colon cancer tumor. Number 6. Abdominal pain. Don't dismiss it as though it will go away on its own. Get a checkup instead. The presence of abdominal pain is one of the symptoms of colon cancer. This is due to the tumor causing an obstruction or a rip. You will most likely have cramps or other sorts of pain, which can be extremely uncomfortable. Tenderness or acute pain in your abdomen is usually indicative of a malignancy. Things aren't flowing as freely as they should, which causes the pain. A blockage is the cause of the cramps and agony. You would also most likely have nausea and vomiting. The tumor would cause bloating in your belly. If you experience any of these symptoms, you should see your doctor. The earlier the intervention, the less likely it is that the tumor will spread. Number 7. Unexpected weight drop. If you notice a sudden decline in your weight combined with any of the other symptoms, you should seek medical attention. Colon cancer may be the cause of weight loss. Weight loss, in fact, is a dead indication that something is amiss with your body. You should keep track of the amount of food you consume. If you've been eating normally but are still losing weight, you should have yourself evaluated. Cancerous tumors can disrupt the way your body functions. The tumor may prevent your body from absorbing all nutrients. It also prevents your body from properly utilizing the food you ingest. As a result, you may be lacking energy. Your body then begins to deplete its stores, causing you to lose weight. Finally, number 8. Nausea. Your body sends various signals that something is wrong. Nausea is a normal way for your body to respond to sickness and discomfort. Do you frequently feel nauseous? If so, you should speak with your doctor about it. Don't dismiss it, especially if the nausea and vomiting last for an extended period of time. This is because colon cancer can cause intestinal blockage. If this is the case, you should consult with your doctor. If a tumor is detected early, it can be treated before it spreads to the rest of the body. Now that we have covered the warning signs, let us look at the 4 stages of colon cancer. Each stage of colon cancer refers to the extent of the cancer's spread at the time it is discovered. Colon cancer has 4 major phases, which are referred to as stages 1 through 4. Stage 1. Colon cancer has spread from the lining of the large intestine to the muscular wall of the large intestine at this stage. Stage 2. Colon cancer has spread to the outermost layer of the intestine's wall and may spread to other organs. Stage 3. The colon cancer has spread to nearby lymph nodes or other organs. Finally, Stage 4. Colon cancer refers to metastatic colon cancer. It has spread from the colon to other organs, such as the liver, bones, and lungs. Stage 0 cancer refers to a very early cancer that solely affects the lining of the intestine. This condition is also known as cancer in situ. Seeing the doctor. If you experience symptoms that could be caused by colorectal cancer, or if a screening test reveals something abnormal, your doctor will order more testing to determine the cause. Your doctor will inquire about your medical history in order to learn about any risk factors as well as check for symptoms. It is critical to understand your family history. You will also be asked if you are experiencing any symptoms and, if so, when they began and how long you have been experiencing them. You may be able to have a virtual appointment with your doctor to discuss symptoms or risk factors that are concerning you. However, depending on your symptoms, your doctor may want you to come in for an examination. Your doctor will carefully examine your abdomen for lumps or enlarged organs as part of a physical exam, as well as inspect the rest of your body. A digital rectal exam may also be performed. The doctor will slide a lubricated, gloved finger into your rectum to feel for any abnormalities. Your doctor may also recommend additional tests such as a colonoscopy, biopsy, CT scan, ultrasound, and gene and protein tests. Other procedures such as MRI scans, X-rays, and blood tests may be performed to determine the size of the tumor and whether it has spread. We learned about the dangers and symptoms of colon cancer today. However, there are always other health indicators to be aware of, from warning indications of a heart attack to vitamin deficiencies. Do you want to learn more? Watch 9 warning signs your body gives you a month before a heart attack. Or watch 9 alarming signs your body is missing vitamin E. Go ahead and watch one. I hope today's video has shed some light on colon cancer for you. If so, please share your thoughts in the comment section below.